hearties, if you haven't seen the first 2 parts of the story, click the upper right hand corner and that'll be taking you to part 1 where I be drawn Captain Shaw. And if you click it right now, then it'll be taking you to part 2 where I be drawn the lovely Arowana. This week I be drawn the not so lovely Sea Witch on Sea Scourge Island. She be a fearsome thing to behold, she be. Tried drawing her for hours. Ugh. But I got through it, guys. I got through it, it's okay. Still alive. We left the story after Arwana's mirror curse had been broken, and right in the middle of Shaw and Arwana's wedding. Shaw be sprouting a fishtail. Not proper, I say. Not proper. What happened? Arwana asked, sinking to her knees beside Captain Shaw. His mertail flopped against the deck. Captain Shaw be clasping her hand.
I forgot to tell ye, that witch be cursing me too. I be so pleased to see your curse be broken, I be forgetting about mine. I was meant to bring that camel to the scallywag witch before the sun rose, or I be turning into a merman.
Arowana stood on her 2 fine legs and said, I need to be finding a camel then. Captain Shaw grabbed her ankle before she could walk away.
No, lass. This be a task for me and me crew. Ye need to be keeping safe below decks.
Arowana shook her head. You broke my curse. Now I am going to break yours.
Ye don't even know where the beast be.
Captain Shaw said. True, Arowana said. He could be anywhere, but my father has a rival named Thomas, who's always been jealous of my father's herd. I've never met him, but my father talks about how greedy he is. There's a good chance my father's camel is there. Even if Thomas didn't steal him, camels are herd animals. They don't like being on their own. He's probably on Thomas's farm impressing all the lady camels. If you take me to port, I can get to the farm before breakfast time. It's not very far inland. Captain Shaw studied Arowana and let out a disgruntled breath.
Fine. But I be staying by your side till we get there, and once we do, ye be staying back. I'll have 4 of me men go in and filch the camel. It'll all be for naught if he get hurt or taken.
Give me a sword, Arowana replied, and you'll find that I can protect myself just fine. My father was rarely ever around, so I was raised by a kind widow woman named Elmira. Elmira's late husband was a blacksmith, and he taught her how to fight before his passing. She gave the skill to me. She smiled proudly. A slow smile creeped up Captain Shaw's face. Then he bellowed to his crew.
Well, ye heard the lass. Get her a sword. We're going in for a grab. Once we be getting the camel, we be heading out.
Then he leaned into Arowana.
The more I learn about ye, the more glad I be that ye be me wife.
Arowana blushed. We're only half married, she said. You never finished your vows.
I be finishing 'em here and now,
Captain Shaw said, struggling to remain sitting upright. Arowana shook her head. I'm going to break your curse first. Already, the ship was turning and heading for land.
Too bad we ain't being merfolk together,
Captain Shaw said.
We could be building an underwater kingdom and starting a mer family.
He winked. Arowana chuckled. You need to be getting in the water before you dry out like a beached whale. Captain Shaw sighed.
Ye be right.
He hauled himself across the boardwalk and onto the plank. He threw his jacket on the deck and flipped off and into the water with a splash. Black Boot pointed at Captain Shaw's pants that had been left behind. Now that the captain be giving up his own pants, I be wanting mine back. They pulled into port a short while later, Captain Shaw swimming alongside the ship, just wearing his black fishtail, which suited him well. The lass could see a tattoo on the back of his shoulder, but couldn't make out what it was. As the crew walked down the gangplank and tied the Blythe drifter to the dock, Captain Shaw be calling out,
Black Boot, be fetching me a barrel and be filling it with seawater.
Black Boot frowned. If ye be thinking I'm going to carry ye inland, ye be touched in the head. Without looking back, he marched inland. Erwana gave the captain a sorry shrug, sheathed the captain's own sword, and followed.
Wait!
Captain Shaw called.
Ye can't be leaving me. I be the captain. I be the most afeared pirate in all the seven seas.
I'm sorry, Erwana called over her shoulder, but you'll only slow us down. The captain slapped the water with his tail as he watched his lass and crew disappear into the market ashore. Fishermen merchants were setting out in their boats for the day, and Captain Shaw had to be diving underwater to avoid being spied by the likes of him. He swam back and forth beneath the dock, waiting for his crew to come back. The more he swam, the more restless he became.
I be no barnacle bottom sorry sea dog. I be Captain Shaw, the most rugged and afeared pirate in all the seven seas, and I be proving myself to me wife.
Captain was the scourge of the seven seas. He's the scourge of the seven seas.
Aye, he be the fiercest captain of the seven seas. Testimonial. He looked around for a way to prove himself and saw a shark gliding along the ocean floor.
I be catching that there creature with me bare hands. The crew be eating crackle fruit and hardtack all week. Some fresh ocean candy would do 'em some good. And then no one be saying I be slow or lily-livered.
He darted forward, his mertail fast and quick. But before he could dive down to give the shark a fight, a fisherman net be scooping him up. He thrashed about as the net was lifted into the air.
Oh,
A man's deep voice called out, hauling the net into the boat.
look at the size of this here fishy.
Captain Shaw twisted around to face the fisherman, who gave a start.
I be no fish, ye rotten timbered maggot pie. I be Captain Shaw, captain of the blithe drifter that ye see yonder.
It speaks.
He was a big man with huge arms and no hair on his head.
You don't look like a captain to me. You look like a wee fishy.
What you got there, Marty?
Another fishing boat pulled alongside the one Captain Shaw was tangled in.
I caught a manfish,
Said Marty.
I bet he'll fetch the best price I ever got for a haul.
Captain Shaw glared at the man.
You'll be returning me to the sea this instant, or I'll be asking that witch that lives on that there sea scourge island to be cursing ye into a merfolk too.
The fisherman laughed deep in his belly.
You can't be telling her nothing if you're hung out to dry with the rest of my catch.
Thunderation!
Captain Shaw swore.
If ye be starting a fight with me, ye be swimming with the fishes afore it's over.
Looks like you've already been swimming with the fishes.
Said Marty, slapping his leg and letting out a howl of laughter. Captain Shaw reached for a sword before remembering that Erwana had taken it. Marty, the fisherman, was already rowing ashore. He dragged the net onto the sand, and Captain Shaw flopped about, swearing and cursing the whole time.
I scorn ye ill-roasted, rotten crackle fruit. I be spitting on ye, but ye aren't even clean enough for that, ye foul dog. I be tearing ye to pieces when I be getting out of this blasted net. Ye base, loathsome and greedy toad. It makes me sick just to look at ye, you pigeon-livered, go-whacking pig. Ye are unfit for any place but tarnation!
Captain? Captain Shaw looked up to see Black Boot looking at him. Erwana stood behind him holding the harness of a fine-looking camel, and the rest of the crew stood behind her. Captain Shaw felt heat creeping up the back of his neck.
I be right ready to catch us a fine lunch,
He said,
when this worm-riddled rascal be deciding to pick a fight with the likes of me.
Black Boot snorted.
It looks like he be winning, Captain.
Erwana drew the captain's sword and stepped forward, pulling the camel with her. Let him go, or I'll skewer your gizzard, you scurvy scum. Black Boot whistled.
Ye be making a good pirate of her, Captain.
The fisherman frowned.
Now, I be wanting no trouble.
Then drop the net, Erwana said. Before I slice it open, then you'll be next. The fisherman looked between the captain and the lass, then dropped the net
and put his hands in the air.
There's something mighty strange going on here. I want no part of it.
Erwana brandished the sword at the fisherman, and he turned and ran back to his boat, shoving it into the sea and scrambling aboard.
Ye be handling that like a true man of the sea,
said Blackboot, slapping Erwana on the back.
Indeed,
Said Captain Shaw.
thank you, me darling. But methinks me could have taken him. I'll be knowing a few more fighting tricks than a fisherman.
Too bad you didn't know the trick of how to be getting out of a net.
Blackboot retorted. Erwana laughed before handing the camel's harness to Blackboot and hurrying forward to help untangle the net. When the crew and the camel were aboard the Blythe Drifter, Captain Shaw be cooling his hot face in the water again. They be striking out once more for Sea Scourge Island. Erwana sat on the plank and dangled her legs over the sea.
Did you have to fight your way through to the camel?
Captain Shaw asked from the water below. Erwana shook her head. We met Thomas, and he was very kind. When I told him who I was, he gave us the camel straight away. He hadn't stolen it at all. He was planning on returning it when my father got back from sea. In fact, she said, settling her elbows on her knees, he didn't seem at all like the greedy thief my father made him out to be.
That be odd.
Captain Shaw said. Erwana nodded. He seemed so happy when he found out who I was. He even hugged me. Captain Shaw splashed in the water.
He not be fancying ye.
Erwana laughed. No, of course not. Merchant Thomas is as old as my father. Captain Shaw raised an eyebrow.
Just be remembering that we be half married already.
Erwana smiled. I look forward to the other half of our wedding, Captain. She blew a kiss down to Captain Shaw. As Sea Scourge Island approached, the crew put down anchor. Erwana had to enlist Blackboot and several others to help her coax the camel into the creaking rowboat before the crew lowered it into the water. The camel be just barely fitting in the rowboat, so Erwana, not wanting to be sat on by the fine camel, dove in and started treading water.
You don't have to be doing this for me,
said Captain Shaw.
What if that witch curses ye again?
Erwana scowled. I won't let her. Captain Shaw be pushing the rowboat toward land, swimming behind it. He be able to move the boat with ease and be hoping that Erwana noticed. When the boat scraped the sand, Erwana be climbing out of the water and taking hold of the camel's harness, coaxing it out of the boat. It be looking wide-eyed round the island, like it could smell the danger there. Captain Shaw admired how fierce Erwana looked with his hat and sword. Show yourself! Erwana called. The wind stirred, but nothing more. We have the finest camel, Erwana said, just as you asked. Now free Captain Shaw and leave us in peace.
Is it? Can it be?
A high voice asked. Captain Shaw and Erwana both gave a start. The old sea witch appeared between two of the craggy rocks.
Erwana!
The witch asked.
Is that you?
The lass took a step back. We have your camel. Now free my captain. The witch walked towards Erwana with a hand outstretched. The lass glanced at Captain Shaw.
My darling!
The witch croaked.
I never thought I'd see you again.
Erwana flinched, but held her ground as the witch put her hand to Erwana's cheek.
Don't be touching her,
Captain Shaw said. There was a flash of light.
No!
Yelled Captain Shaw. When the light faded, Erwana was unchanged, but instead of a wrinkled old witch, a beautiful woman stood before her. Erwana gasped. Captain Shaw asked,
What's be happening to the scallywag witch?
The woman began to cry. Her hair was streaked with grey, and she had dark circles beneath her eyes. But she was smiling through her tears as she looked at Erwana. My daughter, she said, and pulled Erwana into a hug. Erwana stiffened.
Your daughter?
Captain Shaw asked.
If she be your daughter, why ye be cursing her?
The woman let go of Erwana and wiped her eyes.
Chatwin made me.
My father made you? Erwana asked, raising an eyebrow.
I had no choice. You see, I was cursed too. But in a way, I was hopeful that the Mer curse would bring you back to me. And so it has.
Why were you cursed? Asked Erwana.
I never wanted to be a witch at all.
The woman said.
I used to be a sorceress. My name is Viola, and I was known throughout the land because I used magic for good.
I ain't believing a word of it.
Captain Shaw said.
It's true,
said the woman. Erwana asked.
What happened? When I was young,
the woman Viola said.
About your age, Erwana, Chatwin came to court me. He was so odious. I had no desire to wed him.
Erwana nodded.
Especially,
Viola continued,
because I was in love with another, Thomas.
Oh. Erwana looked at the camel next to her and back at the woman.
Thomas and I decided to run away and be secretly married,
the woman said,
rather than risk Chatwin's wrath. But when Chatwin found out, he threatened Thomas's life and even my own if I didn't leave Thomas and marry Chatwin instead.
That's awful, said Erwana. Viola closed her eyes.
By the time Chatwin found out about Thomas and me, I was with child. I couldn't bear to be parted from my dear Thomas. But even worse would be to have a man such as Chatwin for my child's father.
Tears began forming in Erwana's eyes. Captain Shaw swam as close as he could, almost beaching himself to be near her. Viola said.
Thomas and I tried running for it, but Chatwin tracked us down. He found us the night my baby was born, a precious little girl.
She looked into Erwana's eyes. Erwana's mouth hung open in shock.
I didn't like doing curses, but I knew how. I tried to curse Chatwin so that he was confined to an island and wouldn't be able to hurt me or my child, but he must have suspected I would try to curse him. He studied quite a bit in dark magic and, unbeknownst to me, he knew how to make my curse backfire.
The woman looked around the island.
I've been trapped here ever since. The backfiring magnified the curse so that not only could I not leave the island, but I became a part of it. Our life forces were connected. Every time a plant or animal on the island died, I could feel the pain of it. If I left, I would die.
I'm so sorry, Erwana said, reaching out and taking the woman's hand. Viola's eyes filled with tears once more as she looked at Erwana.
The island has been slowly sinking, and I would have gone down with it, had you not broken my curse.
But how did we break it? Erwana asked.
We didn't even know you were cursed.
Viola smiled.
The curse I created was meant for Chatwin. I wasn't cruel. I knew it was possible for him to mend his ways, so I made a way for the curse to be broken if he ever touched a person that he truly loved.
Erwana looked down at hers and the woman's interconnected hands. Tears rolled down Viola's and Erwana's cheeks now. Captain Shaw beyond that now, only the tip of his tail being covered by the ocean waves as he watched the two of them. Though the woman's hair was streaked with grey, she and Erwana had the same dark curls. They had the same deep blue eyes and straight noses. They even cried the same, with tears running down their matched cheeks.
Well, don't that beat all,
said Captain Shaw.
She's your mother, Erwana.
Erwana began to cry harder, and the woman pulled her into a hug.
Don't be crying,
Captain Shaw said, alarmed.
You heard her. She ain't a real witch.
Erwana laughed and hiccuped through her tears.
And I suppose Thomas, that he be stealing this here camel from, is your real father?
Viola looked at Captain Shaw over Erwana's shoulder.
Did you say you got this camel from Thomas?
Indeed,
Captain Shaw said, straightening and pulling his shoulders back.
Does that mean Thomas is alive?
Viola asked. Erwana be wiping her cheeks and nodding.
He's alive, Mother. Oh, this is all so much to take in.
She hugged Viola again.
Is Merchant Thomas really my father?
Viola nodded.
Indeed, Erwana. Indeed.
I knew your mother must be something special,
Captain Shaw said. Erwana turned her head
and gave him a watery smile from her mother's arms.
I be waiting on the ship,
Captain Shaw said, starting to swim away.
Next to the Blythe Drifter, since I not being able to climb aboard with his tail.
When neither of the women responded, he said louder,
It sure would be nice to have 2 strong legs again.
He splashed his tail for emphasis. Oh, Viola said. Of course. There was a flash of light and Captain Shaw's tail be disappearing, replaced with his own fine legs and feet again. Captain Shaw gave a shout of joy and went to stand. But then he be realizing he not be wearing his trousers no more. Arwana blushed and looked away. Viola gave a small laugh and waved her hand. A sturdy pair of trousers and a fine white shirt appeared on Captain Shaw. He dipped his head.
I thank ye for restoring me dignity in front of me wife.
Your wife? Viola looked at Arwana. Arwana smiled. Half-wife. His fishtail interrupted us in the middle of our wedding. Captain Shaw walked ashore, dripping and looking more rugged than ever afore. Arwana took his hand, and the woman looked back and forth between the two of them, her smile so wide that Captain Shaw couldn't remember her ugly witch face anymore. Well, let's not keep anything from you and your wedding any longer, Viola said, embracing them both. After a few more tears and smiles, they set sail for the mainland to retrieve Thomas and restore him to his long-lost wife and daughter. Viola performed a protection spell to keep Chatwin from returning to their land. And then, amid the happy reunion of Arwana's family, Captain Shaw and Arwana finished saying their wedding vows. Everyone celebrated into the wee hours of the morn, but none of them be remembering it real well, since they all be a bit squiffy on the rum, and they lived happily ever after. Yo ho ho.
And that be the end of the tale, me hearties. This be the finished picture of Viola before her curse was broken. Another relative of mine. I think you can really see the resemblance on this one. Yeah? See it? A special thanks to Elizabeth for writing 95% of the story and helping me film everybody in the video that wasn't me. And thanks to Alex, Jason and Elizabeth for dressing up as a pirate and being in this film. And last, but certainly not least, thanks to ye for watching all 3 parts of this. You guys are awesome. Thank ye. Now, let's begin the wedding celebration. Slice the main brace! To the happy couple! Cheers! May they live long and happily.
Blimey, that's one clap of thunder.
Good rum.
Quite good.
Burns when it goes down. So you know it's good.
Let's see, how does that tongue go?
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Something about 15 men on a dead man's stomach. No, chest.
15 men on a dead man's chest.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
Drink and the devil had done for the rest.
Yo ho ho.
And a bottle of rum. And there they lay that took the plum, their sightless glare and their lips struck numb. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. 15 men looking stiff and stark, for they had eaten wrong candy bark. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. I like that stuff in my tongue. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Avast!
What incarnation was that?
I be squiffy.
I be squishy.
Get squiffy. Squiffy. I be squiffy.
That must not be grog, that must be some good rum, because he's more than a little bit squiffy. Maybe I am too. Occupational hazard.
Where has all the rum gone?
I know. I look so beautiful in the twilight right now. You just want to stay here with me forever.
No alcohol was drunk in the making of these videos. None of us actually drink, so we just drink water. Keep hydrated, kids. Keep drinking the beautiful elixir of life known as H2O. Don't fall over. Don't fall over, love. You fell over. I'm standing on an Indo roller right now, just so you know.
Like and subscribe, or I'll be putting a curse on you.
Subscribe just to be safe. Don't want nothing bad happening. Bye. Ta-da! It's okay, I didn't break it. Woo! Drink up, me hearties, yo ho! Do 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 boo 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 do do do.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Girl,